Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Perspective. Overall, we've seen the ECP say that they will be taking a decision as far as the reserve seats are concerned. We'll be talking about the legal ramifications of where we are at this time as far as this issue is concerned. Of course, we have seen the PTI affiliated independents join Sunni Ittihad Council, and whether the party itself under the garb of Sunni Ittihad Council will be allotted reserve seat or not. What will happen? Will those reserve seats remain empty? Will they be allotted to other political parties? What is the legal is this a legal lacuna? How do the legal experts see this? We'll be talking about this. We'll also be talking about the overall political situation in terms of course, the CM election, the oath taking, of course, which we are looking at as far as Punjab Assembly is concerned, and of course also the National Assembly and the session, the inaugural session that is soon to be called. All of that today on Perspective. I have with me Naveed Aman, who's a political analyst. Thank you for being with us today. Naveed sir, of course, you know, this is an important issue for all political parties. Is it, do you think that there is, of course, you know, there's no precedent for it, but then it's a unique issue and it's a unique situation. I will ask the legal opinion on this also, but now the issue of the House not being complete is being raised by the Sunni Ittihad Council and the independents who've joined there. So in that sense, perhaps, you know, the options that are open to the Election Commission are limited?
Yes, as Hamza said, that the Election Commission may favor. I don't think Election Commission or Supreme Court or anybody need to favor any political party. It's not a matter of favor, it's a matter of legality and the Constitution. If the Election Commission... If the
Constitution doesn't permit...
Then you cannot favor any party. So, Election Commission will have to follow the Constitution or the legal matters and legal ground and then decide whether the Sunni Ittihad Council is liable to have seats or not. The earlier the better. If it goes in Election Commission in a day, Election Commission will have to decide if Election Commission thinks that it is beyond its power or its limitations, legal limitations, should be referred to the Supreme Court immediately so that we avoid unnecessary delays and you know, hostage situation in the political, you know, start. Since we have just entered in a new era, we need to clarify everything very, very nicely, decently, and the process should be very smooth so that the new government set new norms and values. Honorable way should be opted, and there should not be any opposition for the sake of opposition at all, so that the work should be shown in the assemblies for the sake of the country and the nation.
Naveed sir, there is overall in terms of we've seen the PPP ask for constitutional positions. So my question is, of course, the onus will be on both political parties, but at this time we're looking at the PMLN primarily in the lead. And therefore, of course, their policies and how they intend to go forward, how they intend to move forward. In that sense, do you think the focus is going to be on economy to start off with? And of course, to the IMF agreement, all of those things are what you know, have to be done as soon as possible for the new government.
Yes, of course, economy is the major thing because the inflation situation is you know, on terrible level. The utility bills are, you know, very high, gas, electricity, and then petroleum, you know, are, you know, on the neck of a common man. So unless you uplift the standard of the common man, you cannot uplift the economy of country. You will have to address the economy of common man and then create or can create more opportunities for a common man to earn more money and solve his or her issues.
But the question is, are there, as far as the PMLN is concerned, you know, of course there are those promises that they've made to the people, that they are, you know, as far as providing for, you know, the primary health care is concerned, among other promises also. But the question again is about resources. How do you think that they are equipped to create the kind of resources that are needed at this time to fulfill those promises?
it is a permanent, matter for any party. If PTI had come to the government, had faced the same issue. If not, then and People's Party with the MQM are now in the government, they will have to address all the issues. As far as the resources are concerned, we have very limited resources. But one thing is very important, that you don't put more pressure on a common man. Put more pressure to the privileged class. And you find those taxes from the privileged class and should not have put burden on a common man. One. Number two, you will have to manage your resources from within the country. Petroleum or natural resources or IT sector or agriculture. These are the main sectors which the government will have to address to find that revenue which Pakistan can utilize for the development of the country and the nation for the next 5 years.
We talk about the SIFC, of course, as far as the SIFC is concerned, they're going to be able to lead, or they're going to be able to, direct the government in the right direction, so to speak. And then perhaps it will be easier for the government at this time. And of course, there's broad-based agreement between the coalition partners on economy, on investment, on where and how the country needs to be steered in that direction. So things seem to be smooth there.
Things will be smooth. And since the parties are now, going for the commencement of the government, the responsibility should be taken now. Because every party promised before going to the elections, every party promised that they have, or this party has the agenda or the capability or potential to resolve all the issues of the country, whether it be PTI or PMLN or People's Party or any party. So now those all are in the assemblies. Some are in the opposition and some are in the government. Both opposition and the treasury benches have equal role, very important role. Both take the country towards the safe harbor. So those who are in the treasury benches will have to use their potential in full strength and steer the marshes, the country out of the marshes. The opposition will have to address issue to issue, should not go for opposition for the sake of opposition.
We talk about this, we talk about the fact that of course there shouldn't be opposition for the sake of opposition. Yet we are looking at, of course, the session not being called at this time because of the issue of reserved seat, because of the fact that, at this time, also other issues. Do you think, we also saw Bilawal Bhutto Zardari say that, there were no talks between the PTI-led, PTI-affiliated independents and the PPP. Them being now in the opposition and the polarization that unfortunately exists at this time, do you think there will be smooth sailing?
Number one, you have two questions. One is the session. Yes, if President doesn't call the session...
I'm saying that it is becoming an issue, right?
Yes, if doesn't call that session up till 28th, on 29th, after 21 days of the elections,
it has to be called.
It has every. So it will be automatically. There is no issue. The issue is whether PTI or those parties in the opposition have learned any lesson from their past. It is very important for any politician or any political party to continuously learn lessons from the past, so that the party or the leader could deliver in a positive direction and steer the country in a safer way. I see that Imran Khan or PTI hasn't learned any lesson from the past.
That's what I want to talk about. Is it still going to be the polarization?
Yes, still.
Is it still going to be the same kind of, the atmosphere in the assembly? How do you overall see that? Is it going to be, because we want to see a working relationship between the opposition and the government.
Maruk, it is a very good opportunity for every party to, to save itself. It is a very, very important defining moment for every party, making or breaking. The PMLN is also facing challenges as PTI is facing challenges. PTI is facing challenges in opposition and PMLN in the driving seat. So, I don't think that Imran Khan has learned any lesson from his politics in the past. Because he has never been he has never been ready to have negotiations with the political parties. As a politician, you have to talk to the political parties and the politicians.
But we don't see that even now.
He has an issue with his, it is mindset. This will not work. It will create a problem for Pakistan. And no political party is allowed to create problem for Pakistan, because Pakistan is already in trouble. And opposition, the treasury benches, the civil society, the intelligentsia, the institutions, everybody and every institution will have to work all together to take the country to the safer position. So if Imran Khan or his cabinet or his associates in KP or in Punjab Assembly or even in center try to create problem or to bring hurdles in the way of any political development, it will not be in the good of the country and the nation. So they will have to learn and they will have to emerge as a politician. If Imran Khan or his party do not emerge as a political entity or a political party, they will get dissolved in future.
But we are looking at, Naveed sir, we saw, just a few days ago, we saw Imran Khan sahab talk about writing to the IMF about, allegations of ringing, which is really external interference and asking for external interference in what are domestic affairs of Pakistan. So the strategy overall, as far as PTI or its leadership is concerned, as far as the former head of PTI, Imran Khan sahab, is concerned, like you said, has not changed. So that seems to be about, it doesn't seem to be about coexistence. It seems to be more about the kind of, the kind of animosity, the kind of relationship we saw earlier with not talking to others again. And we saw that, they have not talked to any political party.
Maruk, this is not your personal issue. It's a national issue or national matter. If you don't want to talk to anybody, you don't talk. Nobody will ask you or suggest you and force you to talk. Yes, it is a political matter. You are a politician. Your party is in the assemblies. Now you need to deliver as a politician or a political party. Unless you talk to any political party, you cannot.
Do you think the PTI feels that this kind of a style of politics, which may not necessarily be beneficial for Pakistan, which may not necessarily be beneficial for parliament, for democracy, is nevertheless beneficial for them as a political party? You think that it is about playing to the galleries, it is about playing to their vote bank, it is about politicking at the cost of the country, and it suits them?
Maruk, at the cost of the country or the state, you cannot gain anything. Ultimately, you will be the loser. Everybody will be the loser. And in everybody, the PTI or the PTI Supremo also include. So,
but do you think that they feel that they are gaining politically, or it's a short-term political gain, which is what is, exhorting them on this path of acrimony, on this path of, hostility, rather than some kind of, a middle road, or rather than coexistence of between them and as an opposition? Of course, criticism is part and parcel of any opposition, and one would expect them to be critical of policy, of, and which is nothing extraordinary. But the question is, we want an opposition not for the sake of opposition, but for the betterment of the country.
Definitely. I quote one incident when Lateef Khosa Sahab won from 127 Lahore and Saad Rafiq, he lost that seat, and he was graceful enough that he admitted that I have lost, and he congratulated Khosa Sahab. Khosa Sahab after that should have shown his own grace, which he had not shown. When he came on the media, he said that we will not let the state run, will not let the government run. I mean, who are you to halt the state? You cannot stop the state.
But my question is, that is a style of politics which the PTI as a political party has been known for. But do you think that they feel that it appeals to their vote bank?
It will not appeal for a longer time. I mean, shortly, yes, It can, but you cannot make fool of the whole of the nation, and you cannot make fool the nation for a longer time. You will be exposed. And Imran Khan in past was exposed because of his, such statements. It really harms the political atmosphere, the democracy, the country or the state. So everybody or everything comes on stake. I think Imran Khan should take some very good advice. But he doesn't learn any, he doesn't, take any advice from any person. Like if we talk about Gauhar Khan, he was advising Imran Khan not to write letter to IMF.
IMF, yes.
Imran Khan should have said, thank you very much, Gauhar Khan, you have corrected me and I should not write that letter. Imran Khan, after that advice, decided to replace Gauhar from the chairmanship and bring another person. So, if you are, running the matter of the state with this mentality, you cannot deliver anything very positive for the country and the nation. It is. It is a pathetic approach.
We saw that, we saw the 90s style of politics, and then, there was there was a conscious change, a step in the other direction, where political parties decided to coexist. Of course, we saw the Charter of Democracy also, and we saw main political parties like the PPP and the PMLN coexisting in that sense. If we see this kind of polarization again in Parliament, because earlier on we've also seen scuffles, we've also seen fights erupt, we've also seen, do you think there's a chance that that kind of politics can come back, unfortunately, and that kind of Parliament will see the same kind of acrimony, the same kind of disturbance? Is it possible in your opinion?
It is possible, but you need not enhance polarization. We need harmony. The country needs harmony. We are facing multiple challenges. If the government, like PMLN or People's Party, if they take very soft stance or soft way of negotiations, you need to welcome that stance, and it will be very good for the country and the nation. If the central government or the Punjab government do not show any sort of aggression against PTI or Imran Khan, it will be a good gesture, and you need to respond to that gesture, and you should extend your hand towards harmony. When Mariam Nawaz was announced as Prime Minister, Chief Minister candidate for Punjab, Gandapur was announced for KPK. Gandapur has his own, different sort of repo. With that mindset or repo, which sort of message you want to deliver to PMLN or Punjab administration? It will not work. It will, enhance polarization, and it will be creating rift from the PTI KPK government towards the center and PTI KPK government towards Punjab.
Because of course all the provinces have to coexist, and
with
the federation, and if this kind of acrimony persists and this style of politics, it will create issues of governance between all provinces.
In KPK, the selection of Gandapur as CM is like a selection of Buzdar in Punjab. There's no difference between selection of Gandapur and the selection of Buzdar for
but don't you think that we saw, of course, it is perhaps also a time of revisitation of policy within the PTI-led independence and the former head of PTI, Imran Khan Sahab also, because there were mistakes made during, which some of them, their own party had also later acknowledged. So perhaps, that kind of revisitation, that kind of a think again is in order for those mistakes and perhaps a step back from that kind of politics.
Maruf, if we don't consider Imran Khan as a party leader, if we keep him away from PTI, and any other party or any other leader leads the party, I think can lead in a better way. Because Gohar or any other like Ali Zafar, or there are many others who are ready to talk to the people, who are ready to talk to the parties, and who wants to argue. These
but that kind of a leader of opposition, perhaps somebody who is willing to be more accommodating and yet take a stand on issues that are important is needed.
Maruf, a political leader always creates that safe space and bring that way forward, from the troubles out.
Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have. Thank you so much for being with us. Naveed Aman Saab, thank you for being with us. Barrister Safiullah Ghori, thank you for joining us. Dr. Muhammad Ali Hamza, thank you for being with us. Irfan Ghori Saab, thank you for joining us. Overall, of course, we will know the issue as far as reserve seats that have to be allotted or not allotted, or the fate of those reserve seats which, party independent affiliated, PTI-led independents which are now part of the Sunni Ittihad Council in the next day or so, and what will happen to them, and whether that will land up in court also is also, the legal opinion seems to be in that direction. Let's see what happens in that instance, and later on, of course, we are looking at the process of government making, we are looking at sessions being called, we are looking at perhaps and hoping for an opposition which will be able to engage in conducive dialogue with the government, and also talk about core issues rather than politics of abuse, politics of acrimony, politics of conflict, which we have seen unfortunately not too long ago. Thank you so much for joining us today on Perspective.